In the last couple of videos, I've been fixing things wrong with this totaled Corvette. Yes, it was totaled because there's some minor holes in the floor and because it was vandalized. Now, did I fix the holes in the floor yet? No, but it's not really hurting anything. We'll get to that eventually, but for now, I think it's time to actually start modifying this thing. Because that's really what I bought this for. I'm actually starting to get pretty good at getting it just in front of that door. There's actually a whole bunch of parts for this car. You might be able to see some of them in this shop, but there's a whole bunch inside as well. Going to need this. That gives you a hint. Obviously, we're gonna start at the rear of the car. And unfortunately for these mods, the entire rear bumper has to come off. And then I think the front end, the entire front bumper has to come off. So kind of a pain, but it's gotta be done. I mean, first admit, there's nothing wrong with these taillights. They're kind of modern-ish. They don't look too terrible. I don't love that they're like that clear. I prefer more of a red taillight. And all this trim is definitely faded. Now, what is true, these have LED reverse lights, but man, backing this thing up without, you can't see anything. They're pretty much worthless. Certainly not the best backing up job I've done on a fence. It's hard to see. So I'm gonna be upgrading some other things to help me, well, back up at night without crashing into a tree.
It's not that I don't like the stock taillights. In fact, I hate almost all aftermarket taillights on any vehicle. They usually look cheesy, corny, and cheap. But these from Morimoto look really, really nice. I'm excited to get them on the car, and I'm also adding an LED backup bar and new side markers as well.
There's only one problem with all this. Chevy designed this so you have to remove the entire rear bumper to replace these taillights. I guess one nice thing is I can finally get rid of this hideous flaking carbon fiber license plate cover trim. Oh. Look out. Well, that's a little weird. Whatever this guy is, this metal piece in here is like loose. It's just chilling in there. I don't know what that's from, but we'll find out shortly enough, I guess. Well, I can tell you somebody did something in here wrong because, at least according to everything online, this bolt should be facing the other way. Ah, that's gonna make that way harder to get out. It should just be a 7mm, you just zip right off this way. How did the people who installed this get this on here? This is gonna suck.
I was definitely nervous removing this bumper because I didn't want to damage anything, and it all went really well, except for the fact that I dropped my camera.
All right, got it off. That actually wasn't too bad. I was wrong about that bolt. That's a bolt for a taillight. The bolt that I needed was just simply a little higher up. You live and you learn. One stock taillight out. And here you can see the side-by-side. This is sort of like a C8 style, but honestly, it's not that different from this. It's just newer, brighter, better. And honestly, I like the red, especially on a white car with the red brake calipers. This looks kind of early 2000s Altezza taillights. Not a huge fan. And these actually do some really cool things that we'll go over in just a bit.
They do some cool things, and they're also 100% plug and play.
Now I want to inspect the rear of this car. This bumper is obviously in the way. Since, you know, I sort of slammed into a tree, it'd be nice to make sure that I didn't cause any like major damage, which somehow I didn't. At least I don't think. All right, what do we got? First of all, what the heck are these things? And why is there tape on them? And why does it go to some electrical box? Boy, I honestly haven't got the slightest clue about that. Now, I think the car hit around here, and this is just all nice rubbery foam, whatever. So I truly think the only damage is whatever the heck this is, and I don't know why, but there's a ground wire attached to it. Made in China. Connects to this. That's so weird. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to see if that QR code works. That's bizarre. Other than that, I see absolutely no damage anywhere. Exhaust valves are fine. The bumper looks fine. This bracket got like just a hair bent in. I got so lucky, guys. Couldn't get that QR code to scan, and I have no idea what this wire goes, so I'm just removing this. Clearly, whatever it was doing was not doing anything.
Moving on from whatever those weird electronic things are, I swapped in the other brake light, which was easy as pie.
I do really like that to adjust these, you basically have these different clips you can unplug and unplug to do sequential versus fade off versus startup sequence. And Morimoto even gives you this little P-clamp, so you can tie these up over here on the side. That way you can adjust them after the fact by just removing the black grill that goes alongside the taillights themselves. They really do think of everything. That's done. Now, these side markers.
You'll see a little later in this video, these side markers are maybe my favorite mod yet.
As far as I'm concerned, I want startup sequence and sequential turn signals. So I think to get that, I just unplug this guy and leave that one plugged in. It'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I just have to get the bumper back on without dropping it or damaging anything. Shouldn't be too bad. No, I forgot. I have to wire in the backup bar, which plugs right into this taillight, so I got to drill a hole and run that. Not a big deal. But I'm glad I remembered now. Oh, that looks pretty freaking sweet. I love the red. Love the red.
I've got one of these backup bars on my 997, and it makes a huge difference when backing up at night.
Okay, now I think we're ready.
Installing the bumper isn't hard either. Really, the only annoying part is doing it by yourself and trying to get the bumper close enough so all the wires reach so you can plug it in. Other than that, it really snaps into place and kind of holds itself there.
Grommet back in, everything plugged in, didn't forget anything.
And honestly, this job really was a breeze. It's not a hard job to remove this rear bumper, and it's certainly not a hard job to install the taillights and then put everything back together. I definitely recommend you guys can do this at home. Don't be scared of it. You only need basic hand tools. I should say all went smoothly until the very last bolt.
No! The last fucking bolt.
Yeah, I totally dropped it in the bumper and it went into the abyss.
I don't see it anywhere either, but I got a pretty good view in there. Nope, that sucker's gone. Hopefully I have a matching 7mm in here. What's this guy? Yes! Perfect. I'm gonna try not to drop this one this time. I was careful on everything. I used a magnet, I had it started, it just shink, gone. You gotta be f***ing kidding me. I feel like it might be in here. Hey, they both came out. That could have been much worse. Go in your hole and stay in your hole. I promise you it's not difficult. I do it all the time. Got him! Whew.
Anyway, now I can finish up the final installation.
That's a fully installed bumper. Guess I should test and make sure everything works. Okay, before I put the trim in, we have 2 taillights, 2 side marker lights, LED backup bar.
This video is sponsored by Delete Me.
New Year's resolutions are hard. Getting an old 911 turbo to run perfectly without any errors, that's really hard as well. But you know what's not hard? Protecting your privacy with Delete Me. It only takes 5 minutes to set up and they do the work for you all year long. You guys know you can probably find out just about anything on the internet because data brokers can legally obtain all that information and then share it. Pretty obvious things, your name, your address, your phone number. So I'm using Delete Me to protect my privacy online. And Delete Me has been the leading expert in personally identifiable information removal for over 15 years. And they continuously remove your data using their own tech and they don't outsource this to third parties. So your data stays safe. And Delete Me was recently named by Wirecutter as the #1 data removal service. I mean, I'm just a little YouTuber, but still, I prefer that all my information isn't out there for everyone to find.
In the last week alone, Delete Me has reviewed over 1,000 listings and removed 65 of them. And those numbers are just going to keep growing.
And if you want to start protecting your online privacy, you can actually get 20% off a consumer plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Matt Ross and use promo code Matt Ross at checkout or use the QR code on screen. That's joindeleteme.com/Matt Ross. Hey! Oh, that's freaking sick! Sequential with a 6 startup sequence. And that LED light bar is freaking super bright. Oh, side markers, okay. That one's good. Turn it off, turn it on, sick, and sick. Heck yeah, that looks freaking sweet.
But before putting the final trim pieces on,
these are kind of gross in there, so clean out this gap a little bit at least before putting the new grills in. And this is gonna make a pretty big difference too, because the old ones were pretty, well, old and faded. These are obviously brand new. That looks freaking great. Heck yeah, guys. That's a wrap on the rear of the car, minus the license plate. I got to do that. And there's some stuff under the car I'm going to do, but first I want to do the things to the front of the car, because I need to turn the car around for that, and also for the thing that goes underneath. It's a whole story. We'll get there. Actually, I forgot there's one other thing I've got to do back here. I put an excess power battery in here, however, it's technically not the right one for the car. I just had it laying around, and it's worked perfectly. The only problem is, it's not made for this car, so it didn't fit, and I tried to use the bracket, and it ended up breaking, so now this battery's just loosey-goosey in there, which is no good. But XS power batteries, being amazing like they are, sent me the correct one for the car, so now I can put this battery in the car that it was intended for, which you'll see in a future video. Come on, Corvette team, why'd you make this so f***ing tight? All right, and now the battery's nice and solid.
Believe it or not, I've been actually driving this thing more than any other car, unless there's a bunch of snow on the road, so I've been hauling groceries with it, and when you just put them in the back hatch, they fly everywhere, and I totally forgot that this actually came with a couple different nets. We'll see how much they help, but it's pretty neat that it comes with that from the factory.
I guess that's right. Another thing checked off the list. You already know the drill. Some idiot parked these cars in the way.
Getting a car or two out of the way isn't the worst thing, but it is pretty annoying, especially when it's freezing cold out. But look at how bright that LED bar is. Huge difference already. But I had to get the car turned around so I could do the front end mods, and then so I could also get some exhaust clips and do some work underneath the car as well.
I should know, because I have the same thing on the 997.
And of course, positioning in my small garage is key as usual. I do see it in the comments all the time. I need a bigger garage. I need more space, and that's a goal in 2026. However, it's not going to be at my current property.
Off with the front end. I mean, just like the rear, there's really nothing particularly wrong with these headlights. They're just kind of old and outdated and not very bright. And those side markers suck too.
These are honestly really good looking OEM headlights, but I think you guys are really going to like the upgrades that I have coming. And just like the rear, the first step after securing my hood with a microfiber towel is to remove the entire bumper. And the front bumper proved to be just slightly more difficult to remove than the rear, but again, it's not bad, and it's easily done with basic hand tools.
Shoot, hang on, bumper, not yet. Yeah, okay, not too bad. And in case you're wondering, no, it's not just headlights on its own. Come on. It's a tight fit.
You know, I feel like I've been lacking cleaning the cracks and crevices in my recent videos, so let's get back on that. After all, I'm never going to be in this area again of the front bumper, at least I hope not.
Oh, you guys probably want to know what I'm replacing the headlights with. That would probably be helpful, because there are quite a few options, but I'm going with something that it's going to look phenomenal, especially on the white.
I love the look of these blacked out lights. They look modern and sleek, but not too much. Now, we're doing some other while you're in there's while I have the front bumper off, but let me tell you about what these lights can do that's really cool and unique to this car. With the removal and installation of these different colored caps, you can make the headlights do totally different things. Kind of like the tail lights, you can make the front end sequential or fade off, but that's not even the best part.
You can also run it now on the C7 lights with an amber DRL, which amber is so in style these days, it looks freaking awesome, as you can see here.
Longtime viewers will definitely know what I'm choosing, but if you're not sure, just wait, you'll find out soon enough.
I already know what color I'm going with. You guys will just have to see what that means a little bit later in the video.
These are no different than the tail lights, 100% bolt in, plug in, no wiring needed. And just like the rear, I have matching LED side markers to go in. These look so much better when they're lit up. The old ones, I don't know if they're factory or not, but they look super cheap with just those two little dim lights. These have a whole LED strip bar that's super bright.
Now this next part, I don't know if I should have the bumper on the car or do it with it off. I guess I should unbox it.
Not only is this an upgrade, this is something that was broken on the car when I bought it, so it needs to be replaced either way.
I gotta say, huge thanks to Extreme Online Store. This packaging is second to none. And it even comes with instructions. And double-sided tape. Looks like I'll put this on after I install the bumper. Oh, sheesh. More carbon, non-broken carbon. Too pumped about the carbon. It's gonna look too good, because this without a front lip doesn't look right. And it didn't look right with the broken front lip on it. So, whole front end is gonna be like completely different. Go in your hole.
To make sure everything lined up perfectly, I wanted to get the bumper fully installed on the car, and then I'll install the lip afterwards because the lip has bolts that go through it and the bumper into the core support area, plus there's a whole bunch of rivets I have to install as well. And that's not even counting the winglets or the canards, if you will, that go on the side, because all that has to line up together perfectly, or it's simply not going to look right.
Would be the time to put the lip on, or do I put that? Oh, I probably put that other thing on there first. Yeah, I'm stupid. Now, the fun part. I gotta drill holes for that meth pump to go through this lip, I think.
I definitely forgot that the meth pump gets bolted through the bumper and this lip, so I needed to mark those holes so I could drill them. Not that I'm the one that installed this meth kit, or that I definitely love it, but it's here, so I'm going to use it, and I prefer that it doesn't fall off the car. Also, rubbing alcohol is not good to breathe in. But it is sort of a necessity for applying double-sided tape, which I'm going to do before bolting and riveting this lip onto the bumper. And a huge shout out to Extreme Online Store, who generously sent out this front lip for the Corvette. I'm hoping to grab some of their other parts for the rest of the car as well.
Alright, now it goes on the car. That tape is freaking sticky. How's it look up here? Holy crap, that looks awesome. It's not even bolted down. I don't even have the winglets on. And before I forget, brand new winglets from Extreme Online Store as well. And these actually match. These are super beefy too, but you can see now the carbon fiber is actually the same. Granted, this isn't installed. It fits really well though. I can't wait to get all these in. Oh shoot! You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to plug in those side markers. I need to do that now before it's too late. That would have sucked if I screwed everything together and then forgot to do that, because I mean it's tight. It's tight in there. Okay, it's in. Go in your hole.
There's certainly a few ways you can make sure these winglets line up perfectly, and the way I did it was some double-sided tape, held it in place with that and a clamp, and then drilled 2 holes and used 2 bolts and nuts. That makes it super tight and perfectly lined up.
Now that is a pretty darn good fit, if I say so myself, and it's freaking super strong. And it looks amazing.
With the left side done, the right side was a total breeze since I knew what I was doing, and I got everything else bolted up underneath and also installed all the factory rivets, and this thing looks like it just came off the showroom floor. It's absolutely perfect. Fitment is excellent, build quality seems excellent. I couldn't be any more pleased with the install of this lip from Extreme Online Store. And yes, I used a lot of rivets. Now my only question is, what else am I missing under here, because there's all these factory U-bolts?
Between removal and installation of the rear bumper, removal and installation of the front bumper and the headlights and the lip and rivets and all that good stuff, that was a lot of work. But I am stoked at how this thing came out. Still 4x4 status, unfortunately. Now, should I have already checked to make sure everything works? Absolutely. But did I? Absolutely not. Oh my goodness.
Obviously, I went with the amber option with sequential. What other choice is there really, especially on a white car? They look so good. It does truly seem like an OEM Plus headlight upgrade and not something that looks totally out of place. And by the way, the side markers just look so freaking good too.
These look so freaking good, and by these I mean everything. The side markers, the headlights, the front splitters, the front lip, the rear taillights, everything. And I love the amber so much. On a white car, you can't beat it. This makes me even more excited for the next mod. Now, this car already sounds really good, especially for a completely stock car, but it can always sound better.
What's great about this car is how quiet it is in touring mode, but still how great it sounds in track mode. And this is 100% stock exhaust.
Now that I got the exhaust nice and hot, it's time to remove it. Really, no matter what I do to this car, it's gonna sound amazing, but I want a little more volume, and I'm really, really excited to try this out. I actually got this used off a marketplace.
And why take my truck to go buy a $200 exhaust when I can take the G80 M3?
Yep, it's loud.
And I didn't realize this at the time. The place I was getting this used exhaust from was actually a performance shop where they had this sick CR1 and a whole bunch of other cool cars that are heavily, heavily modified.
This car can do absolutely everything. This is a Billy Boat exhaust. Looks like it was made in June of 22. It's pretty cool that it says that on there. Seems like a really high quality piece because there's a lot of like aftermarket junk X pipes. This does not seem to be one of them. Admittedly, this probably isn't going to be the final exhaust for this car, but for now, I want to try this out by getting rid of those secondary cats and having an X in there. And first thing I have to do is obviously remove the old one. I think this is a pretty easy job, but again, I'm completely new to Corvettes, C7s, Z06s, you name it. So we're all gonna learn together. As you can see, completely stock exhaust, stock headers up there that you can't see, stock cats, stock everything, which is kind of crazy to put meth injection and a catch can on a car with completely stock exhaust. So I think I'll end up pulling it here and here, but as you guys can tell, there's a massive center brace in the way, so that's the first thing I got to remove. I think overall this is a decently easy job. I mean, it sucks doing it on the floor, but it could be worse. Quick jacks definitely help a lot. And the exhaust cooled down, which is good. There they are. Hopefully these aren't like already hollowed out or something, because that would make all this kind of pointless. But yeah, I'm excited. These are essentially what's going to give it more sound, more volume. And the new X pipe might be a little bigger. I'm not sure. It is cool that there is technically a factory X here. Yeah, it won't fit. It's coming, but man, obviously 10-year-old bolts on exhausts are pretty seized. One down. Two down. Don't think I can get in there. Not your best design, GM. Come on now. Whew, frickin' finally. And this one isn't moving. Oh, we are spinning. That's a win. It's every bit as tight as what it looks. Somehow I got them all off without stripping, breaking, completely free too. I think this is probably going to be way easier said than done. We'll be back in a little bit.
For sure took some finagling, if you will, to get the exhaust off there, mainly because anytime you move that center X pipe area, the rear mufflers move around a lot too, because they're just held on with one extra hanger back there. So they're pretty loose. But with the old X pipe out of there, you can see the cats are still fully intact, which is good news, so this isn't going to be a complete waste of time.
You need to save these donut gaskets. Came off better than I expected. I also need this mount.
For any of you guys that do exhaust work at home, I highly recommend you get a pair of exhaust hanger clamp removal tools like this. I got it from Amazon. It's super cheap, and I'll link it below.
Clean these up at least a little bit, because I don't want this to leak. That'd be really annoying. These are pretty crusty, so. And another nice thing about this is actually a little bit lighter than the factory exhaust. Nice little added bonus. I could probably use some lube. Lube usually helps everything, in my experience. Yeah, the only problem with that is it's gonna drip on my face. All right, come on, let's work together. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Yeah, buddy, they're fully seated. Oh, I lost a donut. I just realized I need these studs, and I have a feeling they're not gonna be friendly to come out. I'm not even trying without some heat. Just leave that cook there for a few minutes and see what happens. It's actually coming. I didn't light anything on fire. I'm actually surprised that came out so easily. Cool. Well, I'm an idiot. I just realized I'm not even going to use those bolts because the new X-pipe doesn't have a threaded flange. It's just going to use bolts and nuts. So there's no sense in me using this at all. Ah, still hot. Thank you for wasting my butane or propane or whatever that is. Hopefully I can find 4 matching bolts and nuts in here. Where's my nut? All right, all 4 of those guys are nice and tight. It should have been the hardest part, so finish it up at the rear. Hope there's no leaks. The donuts look good. When do donuts not look good, but they look like they're gonna seal. And you can see by these marks here, these are definitely fully seated, which makes me happy. No rattling. Let's fire it up, make sure I don't have any leaks. Then I can obviously put everything else back together. All 50 bolts. You guys make sure to tell me if the garage door hits the car. Did have a very minor leak here. You can see there's liquid here, there's not over here. I mean, I could hear it coming out, and obviously you're not gonna have liquid coming out unless there's a leak. So I think I just need to push it up a little bit, which I already loosened it. I just wanna adjust it a little bit better. Hopefully that'll do it. That's job done. Except for one more thing I gotta do under here. I may or may not have forgotten about this hole in the floor, so I'm gonna fix that. There we go. Like it never even happened. I guess I shouldn't leave this one out either. Perfect. Fucking dropping everything. Ouch. God damn, that fucking hurt. Oh.